You're listening to an archived Cabral Concept podcast. After listening to this show, check out the most up-to-date podcasts available at stephencabral.com/podcasts or search directly on iTunes. And now, welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Today on our Friday review, we're going to be talking about all things juicing and really all things health that come from fruits and vegetables and how you can best get those into your body without always having to carry them around with you, shopping for fresh produce, all of those specific things. Because I know it's not always easy for people to be able to get to an organic health food store or a grocery food store that really does carry a lot of variety of organic-based foods. We know that the majority of stores right now do carry conventional-based foods, and those foods, meaning produce, the fruits and vegetables, have been heavily sprayed with pesticides. And of course, why does that matter? Well, it matters for this big reason. Actually, two, and here's why. When you spray that much pesticide on your fruits and vegetables, what you're also doing is you are killing the bacteria in the soil. And when you kill the bacteria in the soil, you are not also allowing for the uptake of nutrients into those foods. So one, non-organic food is not going to be as nutritional as organic-based food. Now, I've explained this before, but from a macronutrient standpoint, meaning the carbohydrates, the fats, and the protein will always be the same because it's the same food. So if you look at, let's just say celery for an example, which I'll be talking about in a moment, the celery is going to have the same fat, it will have the same carbohydrate, and it will have the same protein content, whether it's conventional base, which means sprayed heavily with pesticides, or organic base, which means more organical treatments. So when you look at that, you're saying, okay, they have the same amount of nutrition from a macronutrient standpoint, meaning like the same number of calories, but it's the micronutrients which really count the most. And those micronutrients are going to be very different, meaning there will be more vitamins in the organic celery, and there will be more minerals in the organic celery, as well as more antioxidants. All of those things matter because you're not eating your fruits and vegetables for a lot of calorie, right? That's just not the way it works. You're eating that for the massive amount of nutrition and the massive amount of antioxidants that you get mainly from organic-based produce. Okay, so we don't always have access to that. So I'm going to give you other alternatives to that because, of course, we need to be eating these things because they are the foundation of any health food plan. I don't care if you're vegan, vegetarian, you are paleo, you are primal, you are any one of these different types of nutrition plans that you associate with. We'll talk about the associations on a future episode. But any of those things, the foundation should be, no matter who you are, where you live, whatever it is, 60 to 80% should be plant-based, without a doubt. Like scientifically, that is so challenging to refute. It really is. Now, you could be on a keto-based diet, and even still, you should be getting in good vegetables. But a keto-based diet, I would argue, that's not a good lifetime diet for sure. You could use that for short periods of time, whether it be for health reasons or for weight loss reasons or other reasons. But I have not seen good from a clinical perspective. Now, again, I'm someone who works in the real world versus in a lab. From a clinical perspective, as someone who works with real people all the time, I don't like to keep people on that plan or keto-based plan for longer than 3 weeks. I see it affect hormones, I see it affect cortisol, thyroid, all sorts of different things, and I don't want to see someone stay on it for that period of time. It's not a well-rounded nutrition plan. Okay, so now that we know fruits and vegetables really do have to be the cornerstone of any healthy human nutritional plan, here's what we want to do. We want to say, how can we maximize that nutrition with always having it kind of packed full of our bellies, all of these fruits and vegetables? Well, a great way to do that is juicing. Now, juicing, it's kind of made a resurgence. It was big, believe me, it was big 50 years ago, 80 years ago with the natural hygienists and, the true naturopaths before he was even called a naturopath. And it's big now in anti-cancer-based regimens. Now, why is it big? Well, they've shown clinically, so science-based, that pumping that much nutrition that many natural enzymes, all of those phytonutrients that we don't even know about that are in these fruits and vegetables into our body is going to not only kill cancer cells, but it's going to make us healthier. It's going to help us detoxify, which really is the fountain of youth. And again, we've talked about it in the past, but we'll go into it more as well. That's the big thing. So now, like, how does the regular person, how does the average person do this who doesn't, live near a cafe where they're always doing juices, or, maybe can't afford to buy they're probably like $10 now per juice, right? So let's talk about that. One of the things I like to share with people is the juicer that I have at my home. So I have something called the Omega Vert, or Omega VRT 350. And what it is it's called a single auger low-speed juicer. Now, there's a big difference in juicers. You'll find some that are the hydraulic press, which literally you put the fruit in or the vegetables. I'm going to be talking a little bit later how I don't like to use fruit in juicing. But you take it and it literally, with just like 2,000, 3,000 or more pounds of pressure, squishes the fruit and the juice comes out of that way. That's the highest end model. The lowest end model is something that's more like a blender. It's kind of like the Brevils that you might have heard about before. They're not bad. I'm not saying that. But they spin, like the revolutions per minute, they spin at like 1,600 to even more, like 15,000 revolutions per minute. That just means how fast it essentially spins around. Now, why does that matter? Well, the faster it spins, the more it's like almost like a blender. The more it's going to oxidize the juices that you're trying to make, which means the more it aerates it, the more it gets oxygen into it. We don't want oxygen. Oxygen's kind of the enemy because it creates more free radical damage. It kills enzymes, it kills nutrients. So we want less of that. So now, the Breville or those types of juices, again, they're lower end. They're going to cost maybe $100 or so. They are great if you're not using anything else. They're not very great for doing greens, meaning like you're going to have a difficult time using any leafy greens and getting any of the liquid out of those because that's just not how it works. You need something that's going to press or squeeze. So instead of spending, let's say, $1,000 or $2,000 for the hydraulic press and not $100 for the Breville, which you can't really use for your greens, then really you want to be able to juice greens. This product right here is absolutely fantastic. Just over $300. It will last you forever. I don't know about forever, but I know it's warranted for quite a while. I'm going on almost 6 years on mine, and we've used it obviously quite a bit. So it's called the Omega VRT 350. I'll link it up in the show notes to get you the exact one that I use that I can recommend because there are a bunch. There are a lot of these. And now here's the thing. It has an auger, which is almost like this giant screw in the inside. So you feed the, let's just say, celery through the top of the juicer. And what it does is it crushes the celery as it comes down in this big, slow-moving ball that's in the middle. That's the auger. And it only moves at about 80 revolutions per minute. So remember, 80 versus like 10,000 revolutions per minute. You can see how slow it moves. But that slow grinding motion is what cracks open the cells. And it's almost like masticating. What that means is that it's very close to how you would chew your own food, which means it's so much more natural for breaking up the cells of all of the plant-based fibers and extracting all the liquid nutrition. Now, why does this matter? Why not just eat all the produce yourself? Well, sometimes when people have really weak digestive systems, juicing a vegetable will actually allow you to extract more nutrition than you could get by actually chewing up the food and having to digest it yourself, since that digestion takes energy, it takes strength, it takes power. And a lot of people who are low energy and they get a lot of bloating, they simply can't eat the amount of nutrition that they need. And that's why in the beginning, things like nutritional supplements and juicing are so important. They really are. Because remember, I know we want to do this all through whole food, and I'm an idealist myself, but if you can't break down the whole food you're eating, you can't extract the nutrition, how can you expect to get well? How can you expect to get the nutrients out of that? So juicing is a great way to do that. One of my favorite juices I'd like to give you right now is I'm going to give you that. I'm going to bring it to you next for a very specific reason. So what I was talking about in the beginning is buying your own organic produce is perfect for a machine like this, because then you can actually juice it yourself and you can get it for about half the cost of purchasing a juice at a store. However, let's just say you don't like the cleanup, because obviously there's cleanup to this, and you don't like having to buy all the produce and have it on hand. Well, one thing I can tell you is This type of juicer, even though I love for people to have their juice absolutely fresh within 30 minutes of juicing it, that's ideal, right? But if you can't, this type of juicer that I just mentioned, it doesn't allow for the oxidation to happen as much. So if you cap it, you keep it in your refrigerator, you fill it all the way to the top, and you cap that airtight, what it's going to do is that will actually last, I would give you a good 24 hours. They say up to 72 hours. I wouldn't drink a juice 3 days later, maybe 1, maybe 2 days maximum. But this will allow it to stay for a little longer. So that's nice too. So for about half the price of buying a juice at a store, you can start to do the math. This will allow you to do that. You can buy your own produce. That's what I found. So if I'm buying a juice for $9 or $10, I can buy about $5 worth of produce, juice that, and I will get the same exact amount, if not a little bit more. Usually I can do it for myself, my kids, my wife, and we'll all get the same amount. So that's kind of nice too, because I like to drink at least 16 ounces of the juice. So one thing I'll say too is I like having a juice. Sometimes I'll do it mid-morning, but I like doing it mid-afternoon. It gives me a little pick-me-up, which is really nice, a little natural energy, and of course it's low-cal if you're about to do one of the ones that I recommend now. So one of my favorite juices that you can buy anywhere, really, anyone that does it obviously custom for you right there, this is absolutely fantastic and is a perfect fall juice. Why is that? Because it's all root vegetables. So there's going to be enough sweetness for those people who really don't like all those greens, but at the same time, it's going to be low glycemic and it's not going to spike those blood sugar levels for most people. All right, so what's in it? Well, here's what's in it. It's celery, it's carrots, it's beet, but only one beet. It's ginger, but only about an inch, maybe an inch and a half of ginger, depending on how spicy you like it. And then some fresh squeezed lemon or lime, whatever one you prefer. So it's super simple. Most people have this. And the other nice thing about this is even if you can't get these things organic, for the most part, they're not going to be one of those heavily sprayed ones. They can be, so don't get me wrong. I mean, love to have you do organic, but if you can get those things that are kind of growing below the ground, a lot of times you're not going to obviously get as much of the sprays, right? Celery is kind of an in-between, but carrots, beet, ginger, lime. Again, go for organic if you can. This is an absolutely fantastic fall juice. Now, so it's mainly celery. That's your base. Then you're going to do a little less carrot. You'll do even less beet because beet's very detoxifying, great as a blood builder, great for liver detox. You'll add a little ginger for the digestion, a little spice, which is really, really nice. And you can do lemon lime. Now, on top of this, you can add whatever you'd like, of course. You could add a little cayenne pepper for a little bit more spice if you like that. You could add some leafy greens, absolutely, some chard, things like that. Feel free to do that. That's one of my favorite juices. Again, you could take these same exact things that I just mentioned. You could get a big bunch of each, and you could use that in the Omega Vert that I was just talking about and make your own. I love that. It's one of my favorite fall juices, and I do it at least a couple times a week. Really like that. Okay. Now, so the Omega Vert, obviously there's an upfront cost to it, but you'll eventually make that back in juices if you're someone that likes to juice. And of course, sometimes when I say is when you're spending $300 or so, like I've done for a Vitamix or a Blendtec or one of these things, that if you buy it, you're going to be more apt to use it. And that to me is so much more important, right? That's a huge investment in your health. You're going to use it. You're going to get a lot of benefit from it. Now, a daily juice, that's about $10, like I said. Here's a way that you can get 22 organic fruits and vegetables. Now, organic, you don't have to pay for all those. Every single day, every single morning like I do, for only about $2, which is, I think, pretty fantastic. So $2 versus $10 a day. You can't beat that, and there's no cleanup. So I like to say this is the lazy man's way to juice. This is what I absolutely do every single morning, even if I'm getting a juice later that day. Why? Because I make it part of my routine and it doesn't hurt. So there's only 2 grams of sugar in this. This is what I did. I alluded to it on episode 270, which was just a couple days ago. If you didn't listen to that episode, you have to check it out. That is 7 wellness and weight loss smoothies. You get the free download report, which is the recipe guide that used to cost $49 as part of a program that I used to offer. So you have to check that out. That's really some of my best stuff. I use those smoothies personally every single day. And of course, I give them out to all my private wellness clients. So I'm giving them to you. The 22 fruits and vegetables, every morning when I wake up, I brush my teeth, swish some water around, splash some water in my face, and I'm good to go. Like I'm just, okay, I've woken up a little bit. Now I walk to my kitchen. What I do is the first thing I do is I get 8 ounces of warm water, just room temperature water, and I mix up 1 tablespoon of this organic fruits and vegetables blend. That's literally what it's called. It's called Daily Fruits and Vegetables Blend. It's by our Equilibrium Nutrition line. What we did was we searched everywhere. It took more than a year and a half to get this product because we wanted it all organic. And you know how hard it is to find all organic because, again, this is what I want for my kids, my family, for myself. That's where it starts. And I want it for my private wellness clients that I'm caring for in my practice that have really debilitating diseases. So I need the best for them as well. And I needed to be able to get it at a good price. And $2 for this, meaning like it's the equivalent ORAC to absolutely a $10 juice or more, and you're getting 22 fruits and vegetables, which mean most people eat a couple fruits, a couple vegetables a day, but they don't get this wide variety. So I mix a tablespoon into some room temperature water, so it's better for digestion. I squeeze a half a lemon juice in there, fresh lemon. I do a pinch of sea salt. That's what's going to give me the natural energy. I call it natural Gatorade. And for myself and other people that I like to do, I do a half a teaspoon. It's only 2 grams of sugar added to it. 2 grams, that's it. A half a teaspoon of raw honey. I mix this up. I just stir it. Again, this is juiced 22 fruits and vegetables that have been juiced and then dried. So there's no fillers in this product. That's why it's much more higher end than a lot of the juices that you'll see at Whole Foods or a place like that, the juice powders. This is a powder that you can mix up instantly in 10 seconds, and it's so deep green you can literally see the difference. So that's what I do. I mix that up. I swallow it with my daily probiotic support, and then I just get showered up. I get ready for my day, and that's when I make my smoothie to leave the house, and I just take it on the run. So that's what I do. I wanted to bring it to you. But again, if you're not going to do the juicing on your own, you're not going to buy the organic produce, and you're not going to get yourself that daily juice to get some more of that nutrition, and you're not eating a lot of fruits and vegetables, it might be something worth looking into. I mean, for $2 a day to do the organic fruits and vegetables, just called the Daily Fruits and Vegetables Blend, you can literally, for what? A Starbucks latte is like $4.50 or $5, right? For $2, you're doing yourself a much better favor, and it's going to get you a lot more energy. So I love all three of these. Just find out where you're at, right? Like literally, if you're someone who has the time, maybe works from home, loves juicing, this OmegaVert that I was just talking about, again, I'll link that up in the show notes, is phenomenal, and I use it myself. I also like getting fresh juice. So again, I have that too. And then my fallback that I do every day, that what gives me that energy, that charge right when I wake up naturally, so that I don't even need caffeine. That's that fruits and vegetables daily blend. So hopefully gave you a little insight into what I do in my life, but also just different levels, right? So we have most expensive, but I just think it's a really good value for that juicer. Your daily juicing that you can get because you love going to your local store and supporting them. I think that's fantastic as well. Or just the less expensive way to get 22 organic fruits and vegetables. So hopefully this helped. Please let me know if you have any additional questions. I'd love to be able to answer them for you every weekend on the Cabral House Calls. Have a great day, everyone, and feel free to share this information with anyone you feel it could help. Are you ready to heal yourself and then go on to heal others? If so, the Integrative Health Practitioner Institute can help you discover proven functional medicine protocols that blend the best of 7 different healing disciplines from around the world. I personally share with you the exact handouts and protocols I use in my private practice that enable people to get well, lose the weight, and live longer, stronger. I want to pass this information on to the next generation of health coaches, and that is exactly why I created IHP. We are the future of the health coaching industry, and the skills and knowledge you will learn will make you an in-demand certified health coach anywhere in the world. Although we have many medical professionals taking the IHP certifications, no experience is necessary, and half our members have no previous health certifications. At the Integrative Health Practitioner Institute, our motto is a health coach in every home. Our goal is that you take this knowledge and then share it with family, friends, loved ones, your community, or in a practice where you create a career you love and can be proud of. The global IHP community is filled with some of the most kind and caring people in the world, and we can't wait to welcome you into our world soon. For more information or to set up a discovery call with one of our IHP Health Coach graduates, simply head over to integrativehealthpractitioner.org.